Hey everybody, how are y'all doing? It's Jeff. I am stuck in my house, as you can see, like all of you guys are. That is what it is, but I am excited to work with y'all on this really cool project. This is going to be my first video. I hope you like it. It is going to teach you guys how to make your 8-bit sprites for our Great Gatsby video game. When you're watching the video, it might help you to follow along with me as I go, and if I'm going too fast for you, just pause the video, rewind, watch some parts again, just go at whatever pace you need to. Don't feel like that's weird. That is no. And without further ado, here is the tutorial. Okay, so with a browser window open, you're going to go to piskelapp.com, piskelapp.com. Click enter. This is the website. You're going to click on sign in, and that's going to let you create a profile. So it's going to take you right to your Gmail. You will sign in using your UASDC email address. Click next and put in your password. So you're just signing into your account, and it's going to automatically create for you a new account in the Piskel application. Okay, so you're going to click on Create Sprite to create your first sprite. Okay, this right here is going to be your canvas, so that's where you're going to create your sprite. Okay, so first of all, we have to resize. You're going to click on this resize button, and all of our sprites that we're going to make are going to be 40 pixels by 40 pixels. So you're going to change the numbers in those little boxes to be 40. And so it should say 40 by 40. And then you're going to click on, anchor it in the middle if you want, then click on resize. Okay. Alright, now you're ready to go. It's the right size canvas. And you can zoom in and out, as you can see, just by scrolling on your mouse pad with your two fingers, right? Like you're scrolling up and down. This over here is your toolbar, right? That's where all the tools you're going to use to draw are. The toolbar is really cool. We'll get back to that later. And this is your palette, the color palette, okay? So we need to have colors in our color palette. There's no colors right now. So click that plus sign to create a new palette. And then you're going to click on Import Palette, and you're going to find the file that you downloaded today called NES Palette. And you're going to click Open. It's going to load all these colors. You got all these nice colors so that we'll all have the same color palette. And click Save. Okay. Alright, so there it is in your palette, all your colors you're going to use. So if you click on them, you can see that the color appears over here. That's your color selection that you have currently selected. Right, so you have all these nice colors. They're the only colors you can use, but I will show you later how you can make any of these colors a lighter or darker version of themselves if you want that. Okay. So as you can see, you can put them on the canvas, right? And you can erase them. So it's tool time. Let us learn about all the tools in the tool palette. All right, so this right here is the pen size right up there. So if you click the smallest one, you can see that it'll make a smaller one. Next one up, it'll make a bigger square, then a bigger one, and so on like that. You get the picture. Okay, so so you can erase it with the eraser. So for our purposes, we're going to always use the smallest pen size. Okay? So that's what it should look like when you draw. And when you want to get rid of something you've done, you can always undo using holding Control and pressing Z. Control Z. So Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. All right, now we're back to our blank canvas. Okay, it's time for the tool roundup. So I'm going to draw a very quick sprite very quickly for you to show you all the tools that we have. First of all, the pen. All right, so let's get a color. The pen is used like you use a pen. You just draw a picture with it. It's a free drawing tool. And that already looks kind of cool. Okay, great. Let's get rid of that, and let's check out the mirror pen. All right, this is a special pen that draws something that is symmetrical, right? So it mirrors on both sides what you're drawing. All right. The paint bucket. The paint bucket fills in any closed shape with a color, right? But if it's open, it's just going to fill in your whole background, which you don't want. So it has to be a closed shape. Okay, next. The eraser, we've already been over that. With the eraser, it just erases any pixels that you put it over. Okay, the stroke tool is going to make straight lines. So if you hold it down and drag it, you're going to make a straight line. Okay, on a diagonal or straight across or what have you. The rectangle tool. The rectangle tool will make rectangles just like it says. Okay, you click down and drag, and you can create a rectangle of any size and any color anywhere. And the circle tool, you can guess what that's getting at. We'll draw circles of any size or shape. Well, the only shape will be a circle actually, so any size. And you get the picture with that. And you can fill it in if you want to with the paint bucket. Okay, let's skip ahead. We're going to use the rectangle selection. Okay, so you make a selection box around something, right? So that's if you want to take something, you can move the selection box anywhere you want. And once you have it selecting the thing you want, you will hold shift down and you can move whatever you've selected and then click outside of it and it'll place it down. So I just undid with Control Z. Here's another thing you can do with the selection box. You can instead, oh no, actually, here, I just moved it again. All right, so here's what you can do instead. So you can select it and you can press Control C to copy it and Control V to paste it. So you're not just taking it and moving it somewhere and it disappears from where it was, like when you hold shift. You're actually copying it and pasting it so you can repeat it as many times as you want. Okay, all right. So this is the lasso selection tool, and it's exactly like the rectangle selection tool, but you can select any kind of shape you want. It doesn't have to be a square. You could select any crazy shape and do the same thing with it. You can hold shift and move it down, right? Or you could press Control C, Control V, and copy and paste it. Okay. This tool is the light and darken tool. This is a really cool tool. So make sure I have the right pen size. All right. So anywhere I click with this, that pixel is going to become a lighter version of itself, like I said earlier. So right now I'm just like lightening up the top of this guy's head, and the longer you hold down on the pixel, or the more times you click on it, the lighter it will become. So you could just click once on a pixel and it'll become one shade lighter, or you can kind of hold it down and just draw with it and it'll quickly become really light. And if you want to darken pixels, you can hold the Control key down and do the same thing. Just draw over the pixels and they'll become darker. And if you draw for a long time, it'll become so dark that the pixel just becomes black, which is the darkest it can get. So yeah, you can create shadows with this. It's a really cool tool. So you can lighten and darken things as much as you want. So I'm lightening again at the top there, and I'm darkening again by holding down Control right now, creating some shadows underneath this guy. Alright, so here's my quick sprite. I'm zooming out just to see how he looks when he's small, because it's going to be small when it's in our video game. And I just want to take a look at that. Yeah, I like it. Okay, but let's change this guy so I can show you a few more tools. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of his head. I'm going to use the rectangle selection tool and just press delete and get rid of it. And I'm going to erase what's left over. Okay, and I'm just going to get the pen tool and quickly draw a new head in blue for this guy. And I'm going to fill it in with the paint bucket and maybe give him an eye. And I'm fast forwarding through my video right now in case you didn't know. Give him a little horn. And so I'm going to use this lighten and darken tool, which you guys already know how to use. So I'm lightening the top just to give it a little like highlight or something and make it look kind of shiny. And then I'm going to darken like inside his mouth there and underneath his chin there. Okay, so great. All right, he already looks really different. Okay, zooming out, zooming in. All right, so now I'm going to use the lasso selection tool to select the middle of his body, his little outfit there, because I don't like it. I'm going to delete it. Okay, I got rid of it. Now I'm going to use the eyedropper tool, which you guys haven't learned about yet. And if you click anywhere on a color, that's the color you'll have selected. So if there's a color you like that you used earlier, but you don't know where it is on the palette, you can just select that. So I got that gold color so that I can fill that outline back in again. So I'm going to finish all the outline around his body so that I can use the paint bucket, because it has to be closed shape, and I'm going to fill it in red. But I don't like that, so I'm going to show you guys a new tool called the dithering tool. That's really cool. It'll create a checkerboard wherever you draw of two colors, any two colors you select. So you can select one color, and then the second color you select by clicking with the right mouse button, right? So a right click is going to get you the other second color. So right now I have those two different kinds of blues, and wherever I color in, it's just automatically making this checkerboard pattern, which is really cool. And when you color it in, you get a nice kind of like blend of those two colors. So now I'm just making him kind of a new outfit out of this checkerboard pattern. And when I zoom out, you can get a nice kind of effect when it's smaller. Great, so now I'm just kind of fast forwarding really fast as I finish my sprite. I'm using one of my dithering colors on the bottom and one on top to give it a kind of like 3D effect. And now I'm just watching myself make this sprite in fast motion. I guess I'm giving him a bloodshot eye. Looks like I made teeth for him and a nostril and some orange toenails. Oh, now they're claws. Okay, and just kind of futzing around with it. Looks like I spent quite a while working on this sprite, but as you can see, if you work on it for a while, you start to get something kind of fun. So I'm making this monster, perfecting his toenails. Looks like I'm using the lighten tool to lighten up the toenails a little bit. All right, and there it is. There's my sprite, my quick sprite that I made. And I showed you almost all the tools that there are. Okay, so now we're gonna show you how to save. So I clicked save. You give him a name, Blue Monster, and then you click public. Make sure you check the box that says public and check save to your gallery. And if you look in my gallery, there it is, the Blue Monster. And don't worry, I'm going to go over how to save again. So let's create a new sprite. So click create sprite, and I'm going to go through this really fast with you guys. So you guys are all creating human sprites, so I'm going to quickly create like a 1920s human. Okay, so I'm making a hat, and so this is how I would recommend you guys work. Just basically you want to lay down the shapes, the basic shapes, play around till you have the shapes you want of the person. You can always erase, you can always fix your mistakes or undo, and basically I would just start really simple. Make simple shapes using a limited amount of colors, and then as you get the shape going, you can always adjust it as you go, right? If you don't like it, if it's too fat, you can make it thinner. If it's too thin, you can make it fatter. And then add the details like I just did, buttons and cuffs. And then you can use the lighten and darken tool. You can give it highlights like I'm doing. And then you can give it shadows like I'm doing in the pant legs there and under the coat. Or you can use the dither tool, whatever you want. And it looks like I'm basically done with this guy. So now you would go to back over to this panel and click on save, right? Give it a title, right? So I called it Frank. Remember to check the box that says public, right? So that's so that Mr. Klatsky and I can see your sprite. And then click on save to your gallery. Okay, and then click on my gallery, and there it is. There's both of the sprites, right? Okay, so if you go to your sprite and you click on view, we're going to ask that you all highlight the link on this page, copy it, and paste it into the shared class Google Doc. That way we can access your sprites, okay? You're also going to want to export your sprite, okay? So you would click on PNG in the export menu, and then you click download under selected frame export. And that's actually going to download the file to your computer. So there you can see it in my downloads folder. It's right there. It's called frank0.png. I made a new folder to store my sprites in, and I'm going to call it Gatsby files. I'm going to move my sprite into that file. And it should be in there. If I go into that file, There it is, inside of Gatsby files. And that is how you're going to make your sprite using this application. Don't feel any pressure to make yours look anything like mine at all. They should come completely out of your imagination and your interpretation of The Great Gatsby and the characters. They can look as crazy as you want, or they can look like the characters from the movie, or they can look like your own idea of what the characters look like. So feel free to go ahead and be expressive with it, play around with these cool tools, and I'm excited to see what you guys make. Tune in to my next tutorial, which is going to show you guys how to animate your sprites, make them walk and run and do other crazy things that you want them to do. Okay, I hope you guys were able to follow along with all of that. I hope I didn't go too fast. I'm really excited to see what you guys make, and I'm really excited to put this video game together collaboratively with you guys. So good luck, and we'll be in touch. Maybe I'll see you guys on the office hours, and take care.